doing. Oh, yes, right there. I've got you under my skin. Wait a minute, I want to dedicate this to my dermatologist, Dr. Whalen. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart, you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair never could go so well. But why should I try to resist when, darling, I know so well I've got you under my skin. I sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night, repeats in my ear, don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin, 'cause I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night, repeats in my ear, don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my guest star. You see, the song is supposed to go on from there. It's a stop before I begin, and I ended with stop. Good night, everybody. Now, I want you to meet a delightful guy. Should we finish the song? No, let's. We wanted to do it that way, and instead of getting a reaction, I got this. But this is going to be a good audience. You're not hostile, are you? I'll finish it if you like. Now, I want you to meet a great guy, a very good friend of mine and my co-host for the entire week. Make him feel comfortable, please, because he flew all the way in from California to be with us, and we want to make him happy. He is Marty Hallet. Oh, it's good to see you.
Hey, what kind of song was that?
She had white lipstick on. That girl, look at it, it's on your mouth. It looks like your mouth is
Oh, Mike.
What?
What is it?
It's white lipstick.
Yeah?
It's white lipstick,
Yeah.
really. It looked like he lost his lip.
It's wonderful. It tastes very good. Oh, I like it.
We fool around a lot when we're together. You and I have a lot of fun, but I want to get serious for a moment. Marty's been doing a hospital tour, and I want to ask you about it. Is it finished yet?
Yeah, I did 20 hospitals in 26 days. And how it came about was the fact that they had called me out to the Great Lakes Naval Hospital in Chicago, your hometown.
Yeah.
And they said that the need was so great. And we have so many boys in the who have returned from Vietnam, who've been hurt and lonely, spend many months in a hospital. So I decided to do a tour of the wards and the beds and go from hospital to hospital. It's very, strenuous, but so gratifying.
Marty, what do you say to them? How do you break the ice initially when you walk in?
Well, you just can't walk in and say, here's Marty Allen,
What do you say? Hello there?
Hello there, and a lot of the boys are wearing casts, possibly from being shot in the leg or being shot in the stomach or what have you. Some are lying there with casts from all the way down. I said to them, listen, when they said get plastered, this isn't what they had in mind.
Really?
And there are just many things, and some unusual things happened that one of the boys had come back, and he hadn't spoken since he came back. And he sat in a chair, and they said they can't get any reaction. And I'm kibitzing around, I'm singing, I'm doing jokes. You just take things, Mike, off the top of your head.
But you knew this,
And finally, as I started to walk out, after about 15 minutes with all the other patients, this kid raised his hand and said, Hello there, Marty. Well, I can't begin to tell you. I walked out in the hall. I started crying. And it was unbelievable. I just, was taken so emotionally. Yeah. And I heard, that the kid started to progress.
Oh, that's good.
And this is the gratification.
Hey, I've never asked you this, but in all honesty, how does it feel to be working alone? Especially tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, I was part of a very successful comedy team that reached great heights. And then the time came, I felt there must be diversification. And I wanted what I want to do is more acting, and a chance to do it. And then this thing came along on Big Valley, and I did it. And as a result of it, other things dramatic-wise have come up. And then I switch off to the comedy and the game shows and a chance to be with you. And then now a series is in the offer.
Oh, that's great. A series ago? Hey, great, man. I'm always amazed at how show-wise audiences are getting. A few years ago, if you'd have said, "Now I'm going to have a series," people would have gone, "What is that?" You'd have that with milk?
Baseball.
No, really. But now they know instantly.
Oh, yeah. Well, television is educated, and they're very hip audiences.
You rarely mention your very personable wife, and she is really something. How long have you been married?
Well, let's see. April 9th is 9 years.
That's great. Her nickname is Frenchie.
Yeah, well...
Is she really French?
Yeah, she's from Paris. And I have a brother-in-law in Paris, and her sister lives in Ireland, in County Down. And we're scattered all over, but very happy marriage. Great rapport.
And you don't hear too much of happy marriages in our business. What do you think it takes?
Well, I think the only reason there are many happy marriages is just unfortunately that people don't want to read about happy marriages.
That's true.
They like to read about the things that are going on. It might be a little scandal or something that might be a little wild or something.
What do you think it takes to make a perfect marriage, Marty?
Well, when you're in a room with your wife and she's sitting across from you and you look up and you look at her and she looks at you, and there's a great deal of satisfaction just knowing that you're
in the same
complete,
room.
In the same room. I think that's
kind of beautiful, isn't it? Without a spoken word.
Without a spoken word.
That's marvelous.
And I really love my wife. There goes my weekend. No, I really do.
Hey, like my friend Frank Gorshin, you too are from Pittsburgh. Yeah. Did you have a rough childhood, Marty?
No, I had a very happy childhood. In fact,
are you an only child?
No, I have a sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said this.
And had a great deal of love and affection. I think it more or less molded my life. And
are your parents still living in Pittsburgh?
My parents are in Pittsburgh. My mother, in fact, my father is with me now. My mother is in Pittsburgh, but my father's here. He came to be with me for the weekend.
He's here in the studio?
Yeah, Dad.
Can we bring him
Dad, Dad, would you come out? Hello, Sonny.
He looks familiar, doesn't he?
Mike, how are you, Sonny? How are you?
Mike Connors, we'll be right back. Marty, our next guest who just came in and surprised you, I want to say you meet very few people in our business. I mean, I know over the camera it looks like everybody's getting along beautifully, but sometimes the chemistry is just right. He did my show once, and then I had dinner at your house.
Yeah, we had dinner, and we asked him would he fly in and do the show. He has to be back to tape Mannix. And he came here, and he's going to do something really special for us.
Good. Here is Mike Connors
singing a very beautiful song.
I thank you for the wonders of your warm and tender kiss. My childhood dreams of fantasy could never equal this. I thank you for the sunshine created by your smile. But most of all, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your hand in mine when you said I do. I thank you for the warmth I feel when I think of you. I thank you for the loving kiss when you say goodnight. But most of all, I thank you for your love. Now when it's time to say goodnight, another day is through. I count my blessings one by one, they all add up. I thank you for this little boy, so much a part of me. I thank you for the joy I find when he's upon my knee. And I thank you for the pride I feel when you walk with me. But most of all, I thank you. Yes, most of all, I thank you. Most of all, I thank you for your love.
Let's start with the whole man. Mike Connors.
Mike Connors. What that was?
I'll tell you now, if that doesn't put you off the air and me out of business forever,
You know what
I don't know
the beauty of it? It's about a husband thanking his wife for presenting him with a boy, a child.
Well, as you know, Marty and Mike, I'm not a singer, as I just proved. However,
But you're a good
I
actor.
proved that before you out there.
thank you.
Where I shouldn't. It's harder doing that one song than the whole Mannix.
That is rougher than doing 26 Mannix. It really is. I have a great deal of feeling for anybody that sings, but when
Beautiful words.
I heard the lyrics, I was really taken by it because I think every man can identify, especially if you've had your first child, it happens to be a son. And all of the things you feel about your son and your wife pours out and you don't know how quite to say it. And this kind of says it, and I think...
That's great. It tears you up, that
yeah,
song.
it does. It does.
I can see it by your eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to ask you this, but we did have dinner with you and your wife, and Marty and his wife, and my wife and I were there in California. And you married kind of your childhood sweetheart, a girl you went to school with, didn't you?
Yeah. We've been married a long time, and we were in school together, college, UCLA. And it's been good. I'm like Marty. I heard what he was saying about French. He's a great
A lovely gal.
Yeah.
She really is.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Hey, Greg Morris was here not long ago from Mission Impossible, and he said he knew you were coming to do this. He said, just tell him I said, watch out. Now, what does he mean by that? What does he mean?
Well, you know, Mission Impossible and Mannix, we share the same stages. There are 4 stages we rotate. And so you get kind of bored with and you start playing practical jokes. So just the last day of shooting, Greg's portable dressing room happened to be on the set that we were shooting on. And we were doing a sequence where we used smoke, a lot of smoke in a bomb scene. So we filled his dressing room with smoke so that you could not see inside once you got into it. And he came and he was talking, and he opened the door, and we pushed him in and closed the door, and there he was locked, and we put a great big truck in front of his door.
That's fun.
And he was locked. He was hysterical. And so he says, I'll get you. I guess he's got something in mind.
He just said, when Connors comes on the show, tell him to just keep looking over his shoulder.
There's no telling what might happen.
I want to talk about your musical background. Where did you get
My musical background.
where did you get your musical training?
Well, what little I had, my father was responsible for it, oddly enough. I'd like to say that I got my training in a house of... Well, you told me to say that, Marty. And then
I never told you.
And then you were...
I don't even know what it means.
And then you were supposed to say something about me. You were going to tell the people of Philadelphia, but you're
You
not
mean
going to
you
do that.
guys were working out routines on the
Yeah,
plane?
that's right.
Back to your musical
Yeah, let's
training.
go back to the
All
music.
I
right.
seem to...
Well, anyway, my father was an attorney in Fresno, which is a... I'm going to keep an eye out for you.
Somehow or other, it's not going to have the punch I thought it would have.
Now, my father was an attorney, and he settled in a great Armenian community, and I'm Armenian. He was from Armenia, and he studied law. And I'll try and make this as short as possible.
You studied law, too.
Yes, I studied law, too. And he used to do a lot of cases for the non-English-speaking people in Fresno that were farmers and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them had any money, but his whole life was dedicated to helping his people that were here, migrated here from Armenia. And Sunday mornings, when we'd get up, we'd find a watermelon on the porch, or a box of peaches, or a box of grapes, and this is how they would pay him
Paid
his...
him in produce.
Right, in produce. So we ate a lot of fruit at home. Never had any meat, but we ate a lot of fruit. And one day he did a job for a man that gave music lessons, the flute, actually. And the man says, well, you know, Mr. O'Hannon, I really haven't any money. If any of them would like to study music, I'd be glad to work out what I owe you in music lessons. So my father sent my mother out, and she bought a second-hand flute.
You learned to play the flute?
And I took flute for a short time, you know.
Did you play well?
No, are you kidding?
Would you? Is that a coincidence?
Is that a coincidence?
Would you believe-
We just happen to have a fruit.
He had it.
I don't know if I like that, Marty.
No, we have a basket of fruit in case
I
you don't
see.
work out with the flute.
You know, I haven't held it.
Do you play? Can you play well?
We'll
I
find
don't
out
know. I
later.
don't know. I don't think. Can't play it. You like it?
You lost your lip, Mike.
Is that an Armenian folk tune?
There's supposed to be a cobra come out of there.
You're right,
What
Mike. You don't play well.
How about, did they give you lessons with any other thing, like a trumpet?
I'm still trying, just a
You
minute.
play
Wait
trumpet?
till it gets a tone. There it is.
You see, it works. It works. No, I got to tell you, I didn't really play this. There it comes.
I got music. Oh.
There you go. Well, I tell you,
play it, play it.
let me tell you. No, let me tell you.
Just the thought of you makes me stop.
No. You recognize the song, right? No, let me tell
How
you.
about
that-
trumpet?
What happened? No, what happened? Well, oddly enough, no,
You
seriously.
play the trumpet?
No, wait a
Do we
minute.
have a trumpet?
No, wait, I got
Did you take trumpet? Tell me, is this a coincidence?
We have to have a trumpet.
Boy, you're taking all of my past. No, you know what happened, though? As you can tell, I didn't like the flute because I couldn't play it. So I went to a movie on a Sunday, and I saw Fred McMurray in a picture called Swing High, Swing Low, in which he played a trumpet. And I'll never forget the last scene in the picture. He had his arms around a girl, and he was playing the trumpet. Can you believe that? With his arms around the girl.
If you think you're going to embrace me and play this, you're crazy.
I want to tell you, she must have been awfully thin, whoever it was.
So Monday, I traded the flute in for a trumpet, and I tried that for a little while.
Mike, let's find out.
Let's find out if you can play
Can't
the
do it.
trumpet.
I know it's
Blow
impossible.
the trumpet.
I gotta know.
Yeah, do it.
What do we play?
Anything.
If you feel like dancing, folks, go right ahead. These are the most coveted awards in the recording industry. They are Grammy Awards, and they are equivalent to people in the record industry as an Oscar would be in motion pictures and an Emmy in television. And both of them were won by our next guest. One for the best country song of 1968, and the other for the best song of 1968. Now, the song in both instances was Little Green Apples. And the man, of course, is Mr. Bobby Russell. Welcome to Jim.
And I wake up in the morning with my hair down in my eyes, and she says hi. And I stumble to the breakfast table while the kids are going off to school. Goodbye. And she reaches out and takes my hand and squeezes it and says, how you feeling, hon? And I look across at smiling lips that warm my heart and see my morning sun. And if that's not loving me, then all I've got to say, God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. And there's no such thing as Dr. Seuss, Disneyland, and Mother Goose is no nursery rhyme. God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. And when myself is feeling low, I think about her face aglow and ease my mind. You know, sometimes I call her up at home, knowing she's busy, and ask her if she could get away and meet me, and maybe we could grab a bite to eat. And she drops what she's doing and she hurries down to meet me, and I'm always late. But she sits waiting patiently and smiles when she first sees me, 'cause she's made that way. Help, Mike. And if that's not loving me,
My pleasure.
then all I've got to say, God didn't make little green apples, and it don't snow in Minneapolis when the winter comes. And there's no such thing as make-believe, puppy dogs and autumn leaves, no BB guns. God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. And there's no such thing as Dr. Seuss and Disneyland, and Mother Goose is no nursery rhyme. God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. God didn't make little green apples, God didn't make little green apples, God didn't make little green apples.
Bobby Russell. Bobby Russell. I want to, you know, the first thing that comes into my mind is that that's probably one of the most popular songs around now. And I would venture to say it recorded by more people than you could say. How many records have been made on that song throughout the world in all languages?
I don't really know. I think somewhere around 250 cuts in America.
In America alone? And it's been recorded in every language, I understand.
Right.
Throughout the world.
Russian.
Except Russian.
We didn't do it in Armenian either.
How do you feel when you win not one but 2 Grammys, Bobby? That must have been a big thrill in your life, huh?
It was a big surprise because I didn't vote for either one of them.
You didn't?
I
Did you
voted
get...
for Mrs. Robinson,
Did you?
the song of the year.
The Simon and Garfunkel.
Right.
I'll be darned. What inspired you to write Little Green Apples? How did that whole thing happen to you?
Well, people ask, a big dramatic story. There's no big story. My partner said Roger Miller was coming in to record, and I said, well, so Roger's coming in. Well, write him something. I said, me write Roger Miller something? Said he writes his own stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll try. And here's the big story. From the office to home, I wrote Little Green Apples in about 20 minutes, and that was
About 20 minutes.
Weren't you hoping it would be a thing that had gone on for maybe 2 or 3 years? 20 minutes?
Your father was a lawyer, and they left fruit on the fruit.
What's his name?
Maybe he plays the trumpet. Do you play the trumpet?
Oh, no.
You play the flute, Bob. No.
Just happened to happen.
As well. No, I won't say it.
You know, Bobby is interested in a project that all of us are concerned with. You're busy, I found, with the Biafran situation, and you're going to make a trip to Biafra. Is that right?
Right.
That's
right.
great. To explain how that whole thing came about. Bob.
It really hasn't all come together yet. I'm talking to a fella in Nashville. That's my home, and he has been. And we're trying to raise money now, and when we raise enough money, we plan to leave in a month. And
Why do you want to go, Bob? Because it's a dangerous trip.
Well, have you seen some of the pictures?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
We've done
that's
segments
where
on
I
it.
want to go.
Yeah.
And that'll be my big shot.
What he's not saying is that he wants to raise $50,000, and he's put up 10,000 of his own in front, and he's going to try to raise the other 40 before he goes. You're married, aren't you, Bob?
Very happily.
Yeah. What does your wife think about you making a trip like that? She's concerned, isn't she?
I think she's going to go to Florida.
While you're in, yeah.
To Florida? She may end up in Cuba, right?
Yeah.
Could happen.
Hey, listen, when you write a song like, and besides Little Green Apples, I better mention, he also wrote a song called Honey, which
Oh, yeah.
it sold a few trillion copies.
And that was written from the office to the house.
No, don't tell me that was a 20-minute job, too, huh?
No, that one took almost an hour.
Oh. Tell you another interesting story. When Bobby wrote the song Honey, someone else besides Bobby Goldsboro recorded it first.
Right.
And then Bobby Goldsboro's record is what they call in the business a cover record. When another record starts taking off, a lot of artists will jump on the song and try to get in on the action. And as it turned out, the cover record by Bobby Goldsboro sold in excess of 3 million.
Right.
Gee,
Over 5 million internationally.
Internationally. Ooh, man. How do you follow yourself when you write in 1 year songs like Honey and Little Green Apples? You think about that? Do you worry about it, Bob?
No, because I was lucky to have written those two,
Yeah.
I think. And I'm not trying to follow them. I'm just going to write
You write a lot of songs?
constantly. Yeah, that's my first love.
Like every day? There's never a day goes by?
No. There's weeks go by when I don't write. But I've just finished doing 2 picture songs. Title songs for pictures.
You mean songs where they sing over the...
Yeah, for Walt Disney? What
And
are they?
one's a movie called Smith. It'll be out next week, I think. And it's hard because I'm having to write about, a situation or a lot of times a dog or a raccoon or something like,
I imagine that is more challenging probably than writing something out of your own.
I'd like to ask a question, Bob.
Sure.
Do you find that most of the songs you write come from an inspiration or from somebody saying, hey, write a song about, or how does it happen most of the time?
Yeah, how does a guy pick Little Green Apples, something like that?
All right, let's put it this way. I'm not trying to sound pretentious about my songs. Apples had to be inspired. I write about trite, trivial stuff, you might say.
But suddenly a subject matter strike your fancy and you say, I wonder if I could...
right, and I use people's
catchphrase,
names,
yeah.
and actual people I know. I may write a song and say I was riding in the car with Mike Douglas, and we were going down Cherry Lane, or something like that, and actually use his name. because people would say I was riding in the car with my buddy, and I just try to write
More
what really happened.
personal, yeah.
The green apples was somebody baking pies or something? Is that how the whole thing
No, there was this fella that
If the
handled
guy's
dogs.
name was Green Apples, we're all in trouble, right?
This fella handled dogs for my wife. She raises these old English sheepdogs. And he all the time went around saying, if God didn't make little green apples, this, that, and the other. And so it
That
stuck
sounds
in my
fun.
subconscious,
Yeah, wow.
and
Is that wild?
indirectly, I guess that's where I got the idea.
Bobby's written a new song, which he has recorded. It never been done on television, and this is the first go for it, and you're all sitting in on a TV first. Bobby, will you do it for us now? No? Doesn't need the guitar? Fine, I've always wanted one of these. Thanks, Bob. Bobby Russell.
She comes in about 6 o'clock, tripping over toys and picking up socks. And you'd think her day had been a ton of trouble. But she's been out doing important things with trading stamps and turnip greens. And have I noticed how the price of soap has doubled? Well, she had words with a guy next door and almost started a neighborhood war. 'Cause he said something smart to our son Bob. Therefore, I had to invite him in, apologize, and convince him that she didn't really mean he was a big fat slob. And he is. She's as normal as she can be. She never misses Jeopardy. And I think that she'd elope with Dick Van Dyke. But when the kids have all been fed and when I lay me down to bed, she gives me my time of the night. She's a lover. She comes to my side right around midnight, after her day's been so confused. And that's why I love her. And that's why I do right. And if there's a reason God gave me feeling, baby, it's you. She hates tangerines and she loves the rain and she volunteers me for everything. And the bank has never been right in her eyes. She thinks my Uncle Bill's a sap and she taught me words like overdraft. And the only number she remembers is her shoe size. She comes in about 6 o'clock, tripping over toys and picking up socks. And you'd think her day had been a ton of trouble. But she's been out doing important things with trading stamps and turnip greens. And have I noticed how the price of soap has doubled? She's as normal as she can be, never misses Mike Douglas on TV. But I think that she'd elope with Dick Van Dyke. But when the kids have all been fed and when I lay me down to bed, she gives me my time of the night. And she's a lover. She comes to my side right around midnight, after her day's been so confused. That's why I love her, and that's why I do right. And if there's a reason God gave me feeling, baby, it's you.
Bobby Russell.
Then she gives me my time of night.
Oh, yeah. He was,
Bobby?
Bobby was commenting
That
on the
line.
line in the song.
Then she gives me my time of night.
Yeah.
That's marvelous.
That's a
That's a beautiful
song.
line.
Thank you.
It's
Fabulous. Just wonderful.
Our next guest did our show a few weeks ago, and we ran out of time before we came close to even covering his wealth of experience. He's a writer, philosopher, adventurer who's currently leading safaris in Africa. So meet a fascinating human being by the name of Jean-Pierre Hallet. Jean? Well, for those who missed your last appearance, we were about to ask you about people-to-people safari. What would you explain the people-to-people safari for us, Jean?
Most of the people going in Africa is mainly to see animals, or worse than that, to shoot them.
Shoot them with a gun?
Yeah, with a lousy rifle, you know, losing or any other argument. I don't know what they are trying to prove, but never mind. They call us some sportsmen, by the way. Sportsman is usually involved with something healthy, positive, you know, but not killing. But never mind, we may talk about that later.
Yes.
I was told that we may have an argument on the air here.
What role do you play in this people-to-people safari?
Well, try to present the African people as real people, not just boy or gun bearer or guide, but people that have feeling, emotion, belief, action, reaction, that are alive, that are just simple people that live from morning to evening and have to eat, have to get together, get married, have children, have old people that often they respect. And in fact, it's very inspirational for civilized people to see how less fortunate people with less tools, less help, less crutches, less substitute, manage to live, sometimes happier, with more adjustment, equilibrium than we are. So I think that is something that people really miss. They go in Africa, they buy a few postcards, buy a few souvenirs.
Take a few pictures?
Take a few pictures to impress the folks at home, and they are lousy most of the time. All you see is a tail of an animal that runs anyway. And people are bored with
I
those
must admit I have a lot of those
yeah.
pictures at home.
Anyway,
Just tails going off.
Yeah, I'm a terrible
tail.
photographer.
but anyway, they just miss that tremendous amount of people, diversity of culture, diversity of way of living. And for example, in the Congo, where I will bring the people this summer, you have different village, different type of huts. Some are covered with leaves, some are covered with bamboo, some are conical, some are rectangular, and you hear the beat of the drum. You hear the local call, the long distance call, which are the little drum, tuk, 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 tuk. I learned that little language.
You
Short
understand them
distance.
though when
Yeah,
you get them.
yeah,
That's
I have to.
May I ask a question? Is that the same all over Africa? Is that the basic Swahili
Oh no,
origin?
Swahili is a lingua franca. It's like Esperanto. It's mainly Arabic. Swahili is the least African traditional language that you can dream of.
Now, do they only speak that around Kenya in that area?
Yeah, it's
Swahili?
a trade language used by white hunter, by boy, by trader. But it has nothing to do with the true traditional Africa. It's not a part of African culture whatsoever.
What areas have you spent most of your time in around Africa there?
In the Congo,
In the Congo?
I spent 18 years in the Congo, 6 years of my boat and 12 years of my adult life, and I almost died 19 times. And
Yes.
find
He
it
said
very exciting.
19 brushes with death, and if you missed the show that Jean was on last, he spoke of something he did to prove himself a man to the tribal members. He had to fight a lion with a spear and a buffalo skin, was it?
Buffalo
Buffalo hide shield.
with beautiful design on it.
And he doesn't like killing animals, but he did this. Explain why you did it again for those who may not have been with us today.
Just face a lion, and one of us must die. It was a fair deal.
What do they do? Get in a circle and
Yeah, the human arena, a circle with people, shield, the feather they have around their head, and a lot of excitement. And the man has to face his moment of truth to show that he's a man of chicken run or
Jean?
face a thing.
Excuse me, why wouldn't the lion maybe go off and grab somebody else rather than just face you?
Well,
Couldn't
all
he-
depends of your attitude, you know.
He knows that you're out there. It's,
You have a latest afro hairdo.
His hairdo.
I was the first one to have it.
That's right. They all try to imitate you.
You should see his hairdresser.
Does the shield, is that the
No, I
emblem
think
on
what
the...
Marty means is what keeps the
What
lion
keeps
from
the lion
attacking
from attacking
anyone,
anyone
in the
else?
circle?
Because they have such an attitude that doesn't invite to the attack. You see, all is a question of attitude. If a snake just stands like that in the front of a big 4-ton elephant and just say, "You big monster, don't make one more step," and the snake can control the elephant will stop, shake the ear, move the trunk, and he will stop. He will not go any further. And if a snake can do it, if sometime a frog can make a rhino run, a man, by understanding the basic psychology of attitude, should be able to do it also. But men, you know, say, "Oh, that's a lion, he can catch me anytime." But the lion doesn't judge according to proportion. He judges according to the secret weapons.
Did you have to
that,
force the attack on the lion, make a motion toward him?
Yes.
When you-
Obviously, those people were just making the human arena. And from the time I stepped in the circle and I faced the lion, I was supposed to provoke him, but it didn't really work that way. I didn't tell you that last time. I was kind of victim of racial prejudice, because when he saw me, he saw a big white monster. You know, I never saw that before. He was not used to see that. Just like a cat is used to catch gray mouse and suddenly see a big white rat coming in. You say, "Oh, I don't want to do anything." And he was ready to make a U-turn and kill one of those Maasai instead of me.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
So that was not right. So I was very upset, you know. Imagine a lion that refused to kill me just because I was white.
We're going to have more with Jean-Pierre Hallet following this. We'll be right back.